Welcome to
We'll do it live. See ya. We'll do it live.
Case closed.
NYY Recaps.
It is your destiny.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
How's it going, everybody? The tides of fortune ebb and flow, but the steadfast heart remains resilient, and we must remain resilient. I wanted to go live today, but I was unable to. I was not around. I did have my laptop with me, so I was able to watch the game. I was able to make a video when I heard about the Dominguez thing. But, you know, it's probably for the best that I wasn't able to go live, because I would have sounded a lot like one of those guys that they're trying to talk down from the ledge of a building. Come on down here. I don't want to. I released the season recap, otherwise known as the postmortem, and usually we release it when the season is over, but the Yankees are dying such a slow and painful death this year that I wanted to make sure that we could still get some of the audience before everybody switches over to football or whatever else they're interested in. But when the season ends, we'll do the 5 Yankees who won't be back video. So one guy who won't be back until at least June, Jasson Dominguez. My favorite Martian. Torn UCL. Apparently he's been playing through pain for a few days. He's got a great arm. He was throwing the ball very well, but something must have snapped. I can't blame the coaching staff on this one. I know there's a lot of instant reaction to do that. But he was in the major leagues for 2 days when he began feeling pain. Injuries happen, but I don't think 2 days is enough for the coaching staff to really influence Jasson. It could have happened just as easily in AAA, and it would have been almost as devastating. I think it's made more devastating by the phenomenal job that Jasson did. He pretty much came up and said, I'm taking over the center field job for the next 15 years. And look, if you told me a month ago that Jasson Dominguez would be the Yankees' starting center fielder in mid-June of 2024, I would have signed up for it. I would have absolutely signed up for it. And I'd still sign up for it. But yeah, this was a punch in the gut, a straight-up kick in the gonads at the same time. I remember reading that he had elbow inflammation and was scratched from the lineup, and I thought, you know, they should probably go get that tested because this team seems to be really bad at diagnosing injuries. And sure enough, they did, and came back with a torn UCL. So yeah, I was able to watch the game. Big 2-run home run from Giancarlo Stanton, walk-off hit from Kyle Higashioka. They were being no-hit for 10 1/3 innings before Oswaldo Cabrera broke it up. Volpe almost won it with a shot off the wall. One of the most wild games that you'll ever see. But obviously tainted now by the news of Jasson Dominguez. So I wanted to take the temperature of you guys and, you know, open the floor for a little bit of group therapy. I feel personally heartbroken for Jasson. You know, I'm sad as a fan that selfishly I won't get to watch him play, but really baseball is being robbed of this kid. You know, the same way it's being robbed of Shohei doing his two-way thing right now. Injuries suck, but they're part of the game. You know, and sometimes I think the more special the talent, the more likely it is that something breaks. I mean, look at how much of a physical freak Giancarlo Stanton was and what he's turned into. A lot of the best athletes break down. And, you know, you got to wonder, Dominguez he's a 5'9" guy, but he's got a lot of muscle. He's got a big frame. You got to wonder if tendons and things like that are going to be an issue. You would hope not, but obviously the elbow is an issue already. And I do think that it's weird that the Yankees have had 3 non-pitchers tear their UCLs over the past few years. Didi Gregorius, Aaron Hicks, and now the youngest player on the team, Jasson Dominguez. But it feels like bad luck. You know, I can't blame this one on Cashman. I can't blame this one on Boone. We want, when something bad happens, we want to assign blame. We want there to be something to blame. But sometimes it's just bad luck. And this team had a century of dominance. But that doesn't shield us from the whims of fate. And the scales of fortune can tip in the blink of an eye. So that's just life. It's a lesson we're all going to have to go through. Richie says Mantle only lifted cans of beer. And that's why he died when he was so young. I mean, look. Yeah, we get it. Mantle was a great athlete and did many, many great things over the years. And look, I'm as big a Mantle fan as you can be for someone who's never seen him play. But I've already seen 2 or 3 people say in a pejorative way that Jasson is no Mickey Mantle. I mean, he's a 20-year-old kid. You're comparing him to a legend. His scouting profile was that of Mickey Mantle. Switch hitter with power and a good swing and speed. But legends only come around once in a while. Is Jasson going to be a legend? Probably not. But he could be a very good player. But there's no reason to compare him in a pejorative way to Mantle or whomever. I'm pissed. And I'm going to be a little grumpy about this. You know? This kid does not deserve this. It's just bad fate. CWE says UCL for batters is 6-7 months. Now, look at it this way. He could be back in June, July, and still have a big impact next season. Aaron Boone said standard recovery is 9 to 10 months. That was the first report. You can get back sooner. Bryce Harper got back in just over 5. He's 20 years old. The younger you are, the better you are at healing. You know, if he was 36 and this happened, he would heal a lot slower. So, you know, I'm hopeful that by June, you know, anyway, we don't need to take shots at Dominguez. This kid is the future of this organization. It's not his fault he got hurt. I saw someone say, you rush him and he gets hurt. Rushing him had nothing to do with this. And you can't say he was rushed because he dominated in the week he was here. He had a 980 OPS in his first 8 major league games. 980. The kid is going to be lights out. And, you know, to attack him or to try and victim blame him, I think is just way out of line. We can say great things about Mantle and how, you know, durable he was despite the injuries, the self-inflicted injuries a lot of times, you know, without, you know, casting that in a disparaging way on Dominguez getting hurt right away. Yankees Farm says he wasn't rushed. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think he could have been here sooner, you know? Tore the cover off the ball. Richie says, put a lock on the weight room. I read something interesting today about how weight training, traditional weight training, is excellent and, you know, pretty scientifically steadfast. But when you think about these machines that are designed to isolate muscles, and you don't really get the stabilization muscles, let's say that you're using one of those machines that doesn't really force you to use the stabilizing muscles, but then you develop much stronger, muscles in general. It makes you wonder if that could lead to an injury. Now, I'm not saying that's a Jasson Dominguez thing or a baseball thing in general, but it made a lot of sense to me. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a baseball fan. I'm a podcaster. I'm a graphic designer, but I I just want baseball to figure this out. So many great players tearing their UCLs. I don't know. Steven says, got married yesterday. Great wedding. And he loves his beautiful bride. All right. I feel like a lot of you feel, I'm sure, just devastated. We've been looking forward to this kid and watching him through the minor leagues, and he deserved better. But, this happened in September. Let's try and put this in perspective. It's September 10th now. There's a good chance he could be repaired by September 15th, this week. You can probably get him in the hospital this week. And then you start the countdown. And realistically, he's not going to return in 6 months. Because the Yankees are going to be very conservative with him. He is the future. They're going to give him some time in the minor leagues to get under his foot and to get a hot streak going. So even when he's ready, he's getting optioned to AAA. You can guarantee that. And he's going to play there for 2 or 3 weeks at least to get his swing back. And once he starts hitting the ball with authority, and we see that exit velocity come back, this kid's exit velocity was ridiculous. Once we start seeing those 100-mile-an-hour shots with regularity, then he'll be back. So while I think he'll be back on a baseball field sometime in, late May, early June, probably be late June, early July before we see him. But good news for the Yankees is if you do your job this offseason, you can be in a position to acquire a 21-year-old stud center fielder who's a switch hitter for the middle of your order for the stretch run for nothing. So, all right, guys. I don't... Richie says DeBetto's going to go crazy. You motherfucker. He's funny. He's great. He's not going to be in the minor long, CWE, but I guarantee you, they're going to give him the full rehab assignment. Because he's the future. They're going to be super careful with him. They want to take no chances. But get the surgery. Come back strong. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.